Across the nation today, don't drink the water in West Virginia. A leak at a chemical plant means tens of thousands in 9 counties should not cook or shower. FEMA is coming to clean it up. We're told it smells like licorice. New mortgage rules just took effect. They're supposed to protect borrowers from abusive lenders. Among them, banks will have to take a close look at applicants' finances. Terms cannot be longer than 30 years, and there cannot be interest-only payments. There's a rocket on the way to the International Space Station. It's carrying supplies and science experiments. The rocket will arrive Sunday. It comes as NASA says it's going to keep the space station running another 10 years. Fans of architect Frank Lloyd Wright's work can rest easy knowing some of his work will be taken care of for a long time to come. The Scottsdale-based foundation that operates his homes like Towson West had a record year of fundraising, a little more than $1 million. The money will go to restoration and preservations of the homes in Arizona and Wisconsin. And the exhibit at the Phoenix Art Museum brings a very special guest to town. Former Secretary of State Madeleine Albright is in the Valley this morning. She's lent her pin collection to the museum. As the first woman to hold that high of a position in government, she says the collection really started thanks to Saddam Hussein. When she was a UN ambassador, he called her an unparalleled serpent. She happened to have a snake pin and wore it whenever she had to talk about Iraq. There were also the bad pin days, like when she was sworn in as Secretary of State.
I look, and this pin is an antique, and it has a very crazy fastener, and I hadn't fastened it properly. I think, oh, it's going to fall on the Bible. This is going to screw it all up. These particular pins that are in the exhibit all have some kind of foreign policy story and allow me to explain a foreign policy issue of some kind.
Oh, that's really cool. Well, the exhibit is on display through April 20th. Right now, DPS wants to remind everyone why you need to wear a seatbelt and keep children in their car seats. They are putting on a demonstration because of what they call a rash of people being thrown from their cars during accidents right here and across the nation. They have another message as well, and that is make sure your tires are fully inflated. If not, it could cause a very serious accident.
Well, you know, Jamie, if your tires aren't inflated, not only could it cause an accident, but it actually affects your gas mileage.
Oh, yeah, that's good to know. Save your money.
Car has to work harder to roll. Hey, you know what? I need to take you to the East Valley. We've got a couple of accidents that we need to warn you about right there by the I-10 US 60 transition. First of all, for those of you who are watching us from Ahwatukee, I-10 westbound at the US 60. Actually, I think it's a little further up by Broadway. It's causing a good backup back into Ahwatukee. We're also in the thick of the rush hour. US 60 westbound at Priest, not too bad though through the Tempe portion. We are looking at pretty typical slowing. There's a live look at the I-10 and the US 60 transition. You can see how thick the congestion is on that I-10 out of the East Valley. Let's go ahead and take you to the west side of town. I'm going to say that I-10 on the west side is the slowest freeway out there. Average speeds have dropped into the teens as well as the 20s. You're going to hit brake lights right around 83rd Avenue. They continue all the way in through downtown, but the slowest portion from 83rd in through about 35th. Let's go ahead and take a look at the north part of town now. I-17 southbound, the slowest portion from about, let's call it Cactus down to Camelback, and then that 101 eastbound now you're looking at brake lights from about the I-17 transition over to 56th Street. Hey, I want to give you a heads up on something. Have you ever seen those blue signs out there? You know, you usually see them when you're on a road trip and they're there for gas or food or lodging. That's what they give you a heads up on. Well, now you're going to start seeing them on freeways here in the Valley. ADOT says it's going to install 300 of them statewide to bring in some extra cash. A few are already up along the I-17, the 101, the I-10. It basically is ad space that goes to the highest bidder, which could mean as much as $10 million to fund future highway projects. Although with our weather, I'm not sure why you'd want to take a road trip. I'd stay right here.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you. We have a lot of folks that are coming here, flocking here, the snowbirds, and a lot of you hitting the fairways as we make our way into this Friday. Take a look at what you can expect. Your tea time temperatures across the valley, 54 degrees by 10 a.m. under sunny skies. By lunchtime, we're looking at a temperature of 61, and by 2 o'clock, still pretty pleasant. a temperature of 67 degrees. We're forecasting a high today in Phoenix of 69. Looks like 67 for Maricopa, 59 in Payson, 60 in Prescott. Sedona, you're in at 64 today. Flagstaff, a nice 50 there, 49 in Show Low, 53 in St. John's, and it looks like 68 in Bullhead City. Our satellite radar picture shows we do have a storm system that is stretching, it looks like from Texas all the way up into the Ohio Valley. This is going to gain some steam and some momentum as we move on into this afternoon. So we're talking rain, snow, and ice that will track across the Ohio, Tennessee Valley into the Midwest and along the Northeast as we move on into this afternoon, this evening, and into tomorrow. Here at home, high pressure settling over us, so that's going to keep our weather pretty quiet. We are seeing a thaw out across the colder portions of our nation. Folks that felt temperatures 40 degrees below zero, at least those wind chills anyways, are now seeing like a 31 in Chicago, 22 right now in Minneapolis, Omaha at 30 degrees. Believe it or not, that's actually warm considering where we were earlier this week. Futurecast shows as we move on into this morning and this afternoon, we will keep those skies clear, and by 2 o'clock we'll have temperatures in the low to mid 60s across the valley. Fast forwarding into your Saturday, again, temperatures just a little bit warmer by 3 o'clock, the upper 60s to low 70s. And then in your Sunday morning, we have a little piece of energy that's going to break off from a storm system that's riding into the Pacific Northwest. That's just going to give us a little bit of cloud cover to kick off your Sunday morning. So at 6 a.m., we're looking at temperatures in the 50s, that cloud cover acting as a blanket of sorts. Then that cloud cover breaks apart for your Sunday afternoon, and we will be left with sunny skies and temperatures in the 70s. By 7 o'clock tonight, we've got 56 degrees in Mesa, 55 in Queen Creek, looks like 53 in Apache Junction, 57 for downtown Phoenix, 56 in Ahwatukee, and 55 in Avondale. Off to the West Valley, 57 in Peoria, and 55 in Goodyear. Your high today in the valley, 69 degrees under sunny skies. Tonight we will dip down to a low of 42 degrees, and your 7-day forecast shows 73 for Saturday. We keep the 70s around through next week with temperatures peaking Wednesday to 76.
And pack your bags real good, baby, 'cause you'll be gone for a while.